the wonderful Mr. Fourth Quarter himself, Isaiah Thomas.
IT43.
Named after my favorite basketball player ever.
What's going
Isaiah
on?
Thomas. So bad love. Thank you so much for blessing our new home. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congrats. Coming through?
All right.
Yeah, I saw some of your tweets during last night's epic.
Oh, yeah, that was
crazy, right? Have you calmed down from everything you saw last night?
a little bit, but still just to be able to think about it like thought the game was over.
So from one fourth quarter king to another, your boy Brady, what were you thinking as you watched him do his thing again?
You just can't bet against him. He's unbelievable. When he was making that comeback, he was just so poised, and that's, I guess, how the great players go about their ways, and that was an unbelievable performance that he put on.
Now, everybody knows you guys went to the pitch meeting for Kevin Durant together. We just showed the picture, but you guys are actually friends. Y'all know each other. What is it that you guys have in common besides being really good players? When you started talking to him, realizing, hey, this guy's cut just like me.
I mean, I want to be great, so I try to put myself around those type of guys. And when I first met him, he was just so genuine. Usually those guys got a little swag to him that can rub off negative, but he was just like, as many questions as I asked him, he asked me back about basketball, just about different situations in basketball, and I was asking him how he reads defenses so well and how he makes it look so easy. So, I mean, we text probably every other week or something when a big game comes up, and he's a big supporter of mine.
So he was still trying to learn from you.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
I don't know why.
That's how you get to be the GOAT.
Exactly.
So you can say I taught Tom Brady a few things.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Now, being that you're right there in the Boston community and you become so embedded, I guess, how can you put into words what this Super Bowl means to that community?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, the Boston community, they expect greatness. I mean, they've seen so many championships in not just basketball, but football and baseball and hockey as well. And they expect it out of their professional athletes. So to see the New England Patriots make that comeback yesterday, I mean, it was surprising last night, but when you think about it, like, you can't count those guys out because they're there every year.
So when you see it, you're like, yo, we got to get one.
We got to get one.
Yeah.
Does it put more pressure on you, though?
A little bit, because like I said, they expect you to win. No matter what type of team you have, they expect you to win. So it's our turn, and hopefully we can piggyback what they did.
So you put on for Boston, but everybody knows you from Washington State, you know, Seahawks fan. How do your fellow Seahawks fans, I know you know the guys, I know you know Sherm, how do they feel about how much you root for the Patriots?
I just support who supports me.
It's business?
It's business. I love the Seahawks. I mean, I'm from that area. They treat me well. They invite me to their practices and whatnot, but I do play in Boston, and those guys support us. They're always at our games, and I got a good friend in Tom Brady and LeGarrette Blount, and I support those guys as well. So I think he understands.
All right, well, all good. Look, we're going to finally talk about you. We're done talking about the Patriots. Yeah. We're going to talk about you and the amazing things that you've been doing in terms of building an MVP campaign. So you stick around.
Right.
Everybody else, y'all stick around too. Keep it locked because we have more from IT on the SC6 or the 6, either or.
That's right. One of the league's rising stars, the king in the fourth, its most exciting players, is here for the very exciting premiere of the 6. All-new SportsCenter, 6 p.m. Eastern SportsCenter, with yours truly, Michael Smith, Jamel Hill, IT, Isaiah Thomas of the Boston Celtics. I feel like you on kind of early. Like, I feel like we should have brought you with 12 minutes left.
Exactly.
Like 12 minutes left, then you just would have come out and just started lighting it up or whatever. But seriously, what is it that goes through your mind? What do you tell yourself when the fourth quarter's about to start? Averaging double figures in the fourth. I mean, what do you say when you look at the imaginary watch?
I don't know. A lot of people ask me that now, and when I'm in that moment, it's kind of funny to me. The things are happening how they are, but I can't do it without my teammates. I mean, my teammates even look for me to be more aggressive, to score, to make plays, and then Coach Brad puts me in position to be successful. So when they say what time it is, it's like my teammates be forcing it on me now.
So now you got to
now I got to come through. So I'm just trying to do the best I possibly can in that quarter.
You know what I heard Chris Long's mother say yesterday on the pregame show? Pressure is a privilege. I like that. That stuck with me. That stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, as a result of your fourth quarter heroics, a lot of people are really putting you in the MVP conversation. What do you think your chances are to win MVP, especially with guys like, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, with them having the seasons they're having?
I mean, they're having unbelievable years. I think I've always said when your team is winning, it takes care of the individual success. So I can't control if I'm going to be MVP or not, but I can control letting my guys go out there and giving their all and winning as many basketball games as we possibly can. But they're not having normal years. So I think in a normal year, maybe I could be MVP, but you have Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double and then James Harden doing the things he's doing. Those guys are unbelievable.
How badly do you want it, though? Do you track what they're doing? I know you watch a lot of ball. Do you say, man, you know what, Russ got another triple-double. Harden went for 40. I got to drop 20 in the fourth tonight. I mean, does that drive you just to stay in the conversation with those guys?
Not really. It's just –
Man, dude, you hung from a bar, a chin-up bar, to try to stretch yourself.
Nah,
you once peed in a towel. You had all about you. You once peed in a towel.
So all right, man, don't tell them. Look.
Yes, we're telling all your business.
What kind of competitor you are?
Okay, I'm a competitor. I mean, I want to be MVP.
Yeah,
One day I want to be the MVP of the NBA, and I'm not going to lie, but I don't go out and try to compete against those guys unless we're playing against those guys. So they're having unbelievable years, and I just try to do the best I can to top what they're doing. I'm trying, but I mean, they're having really special years.
You're doing a great job. When you were competing with yourself, though, this offseason, I heard you say, you know, that last year you had a great year, but you wanted to prove to any remaining naysayers that it wasn't a fluke, that you were here to stay. What did you focus on in particular this offseason as it relates to your shot, your overall game that you want to come back better at this year?
Honestly, I wanted to get better at everything, but for the most part, I wanted to come back in the best shape I possibly can. With talking to Tom Brady, a great player himself, I gotten my eating habits a lot better. I took the game more serious, not just on the court, but off the court. I think that's helped me in multiple ways. So I'm just trying to keep pushing, trying to continue to get better each and every day. And hopefully one day my name could be up there with the greats.
Yeah, looking at the journey that you've traveled in your life and all the different things you've been to, especially when talking about your size, right? That's something you always fought against, the perception of somebody who's under 6 feet and playing basketball. With that being said, given your propensity to play this game with an edge, how do you feel when people look at the Celtics team and they say, oh, they're a good team, but they need a star? How does that make you feel?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, because I feel like if I was 6'1", there would be no question about the things that I'm doing on the court. Just because I'm 5'9", it's like, well, he's 5'9", he can't lead a team to the championship. He's 5'9", he's a defensive liability. They're always going to find something. I always say if they're still talking bad about LeBron and guys like Kobe Bryant, then they're definitely going to say something about me. So I try to keep pushing it. One thing I do care about the most is my teammates don't say none of that. My teammates, the organization, my coach, Brad Stevens, those guys love me for who I am, and that's who I really care about.
It was such a great snapshot. Let's talk about yesterday of just the Boston sports fans, the way they showered Paul Pierce with the love that they did and chanted for him. You contested. You true to the game. You didn't cheat the game, but you were right there for that moment of truth, if you will. So when he hit that three, that emotional three yesterday. What was that? Well, that's your. What was that? First of all, what was that?
Let's stare down
the Paul Pierce. That was the Paul Pierce. He's done that before.
Oh, that was
yeah, I was Paul. Him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was sweet. You should do all your threes like that. But the one that he made at the end of the game when you guys beat the Clippers yesterday, you applauded. You know, you cheered for him, everything like that. But what did it say to you about what you possibly could mean to that city if you were ever to do what he did and bring a championship? Just seeing what those fans did for him yesterday.
Just to be a part of that moment was unbelievable. Like, to see that happen, like, I wanted to shed a tear, because you don't see that in sports. And the Boston area and these fans, he told me the night before when we were at dinner, he said, if you win a championship here, they're going to love you forever. And that was the definition of him winning that championship. So it was an unbelievable moment. I'm glad I got to be able to witness it and be on the court, the same court as him. And I'm glad he made that shot, that final shot. That was big.
Wasn't that perfect?
Yeah, a lot of memories there. Mike mentioned earlier about you on the chin-up bar in your house growing up, trying to stretch yourself. I think that was the point of you doing that. But what was it? Was there a moment that made you really embrace your height?
When I knew I wasn't going to grow no more. When I used to go to the doctor, and my mom
used to cry about it, right?
Yeah. My mom, I used to ask the doctor how tall I'm going to be, and she used to have him lie to me and say I was going to be 6 foot, 6'1". But when I knew I wasn't going to get any bigger, I just embraced it. I've always been the smallest guy on the court, so when people ask me how do you do it, it's like I've always had to be able to try to figure out a way to play with the tall guys. It's not like one day I was taller than guys and then they just grew bigger than me. I've always been this height, and I just try to embrace it. I just try to do it for the little guys after me because I know they're watching and you know, the professional sports don't like the little guys.
Sound like a guy that you grew up watching, and many of us grew up watching, idolizing, Allen Iverson.
Yes.
What did it mean? You loved him and emulated him, but what did it mean to sit down and talk to him this offseason? How much did that mean to you? Where did it take you mentally?
Oh, it meant everything. It took me to another place mentally. I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons why I'm having the season I'm having. It was like once he sat down and told me that I was cut from the same cloth as him, I played just like him, and he was a big fan of mine. It's like, I don't really care what anybody else has to say, other than Allen Iverson. Like that was the guy I
Can't
looked
tell you
up to.
nothing.
So you can't tell. If you say something, I'm like, okay, Allen Iverson didn't say that. I'm good. But, it's good to have mentors like that and somebody I used to look up to be a fan of mine. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's what's up. And
All right.
as I mentioned, you're named after one of my favorite players growing up, being from Detroit, and Isaiah Thomas. And he certainly got a lot of slights because he was little and he had to show him up.
On a personal note, man, I love your bio on social media. Proud father. If all that I'm remembered for is being a good basketball player, then I've done a bad job with the rest of my life. Like that's important. And
It's bigger than basketball.
Spoke to me, yeah.
It's bigger than that. It's how you treat people that can't do nothing for you. And I was raised the right way. My parents raised me to understand it's not just about how you put a ball in the hoop. It's how you treat people and how you respect others. So I try.
All right.
What's your favorite? We were disappointed. Like, first of all, tomorrow is this man's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Just did work against the
Happy
Clippers.
early birthday.
Happy early birthday. Gotten a 2.5-hour car ride to come and visit us on the 6th. So we always got love for IT now.
Definitely.
We appreciate you honoring us here. But we were disappointed you didn't bring your sons with you, man.
They would have been jumping. They would have been playing with these baseballs.
It's cool.
Jumping
They
all
could have
over
took
here.
it with them.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. Maybe if I come next
I mean, we
time,
did
I'll
just
bring
get
it.
all this new stuff.
Exactly.
Mess
It's
it up
night. They would have
day
tore all
day
this
one.
up.
Break it, you pay for it. Technology plan. No, but what is it about fatherhood that you enjoy the most? What's your favorite activity with those? You seem like you got a really good relationship with your kids.
Just being able to sit back and play with them. Like I can have a bad game and I come home and they just make my day. I think that's the biggest thing. Like no matter what I'm going through in life, I could come home and they just make me smile. They're the definition of me, and I'm trying to raise them into being the young, respectful young men. So it's great. They're growing up fast. They're active, and I love those two little boys.
Yeah, cherish. Same thing. Look, better show as I'm having right now, I'm going to go home and they're going to meet me at the door. They're going to love me. Doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
No matter what happens, they're going to love you for who you are.
Yeah, speaking of growing up, I mean, with where you grew up in Tacoma, that basketball area, you know, it's more fertile than I think most people know about. And Jamal Crawford, that's somebody else that you're pretty cool with. What do you think your success means to that area, given some of the players that have come out of there?
I think it means a lot because the guys that did it before me, like Jamal Crawford, Jason Terry, Brandon Roy, Nate Robinson, Doug Christie, the list goes on. So I know when I met those guys and I built relationship with those guys, they always said, what we do for you, we want you to do for the next guy coming up. So I know there's a younger generation looking up to me, and my job is to carry the torch and then pass it to them when it's their turn. So I'm trying to do the best I possibly can.
You're doing a great job, man. And
Thank you.
just listen to you. It's easy to see why you're able to get where you are.
Thank you.
Inspiration to a lot of people. IT, Isaiah Thomas, the king in the fourth. We'll see you when y'all make this deep playoff run, man.
Yeah.